This meeting is being recorded.
Wider out Samson, it's Red Can Man going up the streets of Avalon, and the astrologist. Order of command got cut out for a run, and Samson's coming fast. Samson after streets of Avalon, Samson nothing in it. Streets of Avalon with Samson putting in a late dive.
Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. This week we have the Bletchingly Stakes Day. This episode we'll have trial trackers, Caulfield races, race 1, 2, and 8, bets around the grounds, 4-leg multi, and our pint-up for the week. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. We just keep ticking over, trying to find more winners.
That's it. The streets of Avalon. Oof.
Yeah. When I went researching for the podcast, I'm like, yep, let's have a look. And there he was. When he looked the winner before the post and after the post, but not on the post.
It was a bit of a tight finish, wasn't it?
It was. And beauty call by Terry Bailey. He just didn't know where to look. I think it was first to 10th was 2 lengths. It was a interesting field.
I was. Are we going to see something similar this week?
Streets of Avalon and William Thomas are on the 12-month backup. William Thomas, I reckon, ran 7th, beaten 2 lengths. Streets of Avalon obviously got nutted, but will this race produce the place getter for the All-Star Mile next year, like Streets of Avalon?
This is true.
Like so many great form lines. We picked Group 1 winners from 12 months ago to 2 weeks ago. Now we've got a what do you call it? An all-star crap mile place getter.
Well, mate, it's that time of year, as we have mentioned. It's they're not the top races, but you can definitely find a few that go on to win some or place in some decent races even.
Yeah, definitely. And there's one that we're not going to preview is race 7. That is an absolute humdinger, and I reckon there'll be plenty of winners out of that race.
There's a fair few that could go on and do something. I know we previewed a few of those. It might have been last week or the week prior. So, yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on for the future of that race.
Yeah, definitely. It was too hard to assess, so that's why I'm not previewing it, and I'm tipping you're the same.
I was, mate, but I will be previewing race number 2 and definitely with an eye on the future in that race too.
Yeah, most definitely. Last week was a bit of a okay week. Giga kicked things off with the trial tracker, defined the drift, 220 at the 310. Didn't see the drift coming anywhere near that, so it scared me a little bit, but it was good to kick the day off with a winner.
Oh, wow. A few happy community members with Giga kicking the day off.
Yeah,
well done, Wim.
Certainly was. It was a good watch. It was quite easy. And as I said in the podcast on Sunday, he only had it at 80%.
Be interested to see if that sneaks into your portfolio. Unfortunately, though, through Irish Eyes, which was the pineapple of the week, don't know whether it was Jamie or, as you mentioned, it might have been the stable, but it was disappointing just seeing the horse drop back so far and not putting a whole lot of pressure on in a slowly run race, and was never going to get anywhere near Horrifying, who did it very comfortably.
Yeah, I just think it was poor. I don't know if it was jockeys. It's more the trainers as well, not being aware that Willow's on a leader. When he goes up front, we know he stacks them and racks them at hurdle speed. So, yeah, Jamie's only following instructions, so you can't be too critical. Yes, she was thinking of rolling forward, but she said the tactics were in her head to stay back. So,
yeah. But
the other jockeys, why? There's 6 other horses that could have made a run, but no, they just let Willow do what he wanted to do.
No, that's right. And you got the money with Squid Game a little bit later on. My tip in that missed your pulled up a little bit amiss. So I think that's one, when it does come back, we'll definitely keep an eye on. But Squid Game got the chocolates over 1,000. Look, I don't know, how did you see that race?
Yeah, I I have to blow my own trumpet. I said he'd go forward. He'd sit nicely. At the 300, I said no. At the 200, I said no. At the 100, I said maybe. And then the last 50, I started to give it a yell. By look, I wasn't impressed. I was like, nah, you haven't gone that well. I thought you'd win by more. But looking at its rating out of the race, it rated really, really well.
Just get it out to 1,100 metres. Let it settle, and it's got to turn a foot. Anyway, for those who did listen, we the 4 horses I went through in that race, other than Misty York, did finish first, second, third. So hopefully someone out there did snag the trifecta with Calcani Royale and Veriskova.
Yeah, it's as I said on Sunday, it looks a very nice horse. That second one, I'm very interested to see where they go.
Yep, agree.
And to round things off, we've always got to talk about the highest price winner of the weekend, and that was $1.30 over the Pakenham Jumps. Yeah, but I did say it'd win by 27, and I think it was very close to 27. If you don't follow the jumps, go and watch Stern Idol. It's from France. It's had 2 wins, won by 50 lengths in total in 2 starts. It looks like a serious horse. I'm actually wanting to see it on the flat.
Oof.
I reckon it might be okay. It might be the old horse. Got to take care.
Whose stable was that found its way into?
Kieran Mars.
Oh, well, a slight chance it might find a flat.
I hope so, because I'm really intrigued how it will go on the flat. Pakenham on Sunday is basically a flats race with a couple of jumps, and it absolutely pissed in. So if you're listening, Kieran, mate, give us a call. We'll map out a plan for Stern Idol. But all right, move on. Pineapple of the week, we mentioned disappointing, but not much we can do. Buying and cashing out, Matty. Anything?
Oh, we're just adding to the portfolio. At the moment, Alcyone up in Sydney, really impressive first up. So that's one that I want to be on moving forward. Not too much else to say there, but we'll definitely keep an eye on where it's tracking.
Yep.
Yourself?
I mentioned on Sunday, Mancayan. I thought it was just a jockey error, just the way he was sitting on the horse when the whip was in the left hand. When he got it in the right hand, he straightened up and the horse responded. I think that's what cost him the race. Not being critical of Matty Cartwright, I think he's a good jockey, but it's a game of inches and you went down by an inch. So, yeah, I think he can win next start and can win nicely.
Nice.
Track stats. Rail out 6 meters for Caulfield on Saturday. A soft 5. I'm hoping we can get to a good 4, but it will be around the soft 5, good 4 range. Good 4 would be good, so we can see the normal Caulfield back to what it normally is and being on speed, no issues with the rail. But if it stays in the soft range, I wonder if the inside will chop out later in the day. I'll be working on a track that just plays normal Caulfield. Fingers crossed. Trial trackers this week, just the one. It kicks off in race 6, number 8 at Caulfield. Sandy Prince has had 2 jump outs at Flemington and both won them nicely. I think this horse has come back well and he's in for a good prep and might go to a new level. Last prep, he was good behind Forgot You and Snapped. Brings that form and jump outs. I think it'll be winning. Willow stays on from last prep, so that's tick, tick. I think it's a genuine group horse in the making. That's Sandy Prince, race 6, number 8. I'm going to start the preview here with race 1, 2-year-olds over the 1,200 metres. The odds, we got $3.10 favourite, River Ribble. Number 1, Thron Bone, $4.60. 3, Taught You Could, $6. 4, Hafey, $6. Number 2, Cusack, $8 and $11 plus the rest. I'm going to kick things off here and make number 6 here, River Ribble, a bet. Can I use the M word already? Too early?
Race 1, why not? Why not?
No, I'll save him, but he looks a good horse. Back to business here. I thought he has come back super. I thought his first up win was arrogant, never got out of second gear. SP to $1.75 that day at Cranbourne, and they're asking you to take $3 again. I think that's a good price. Jay McNeil stays on, and I expect him to take it straight to the front. Second up, no worries, because the Freedman stable wouldn't have had him screwed down. Strip fitter, and will win by more this week, I reckon. And I reckon this horse is going to be set for the Caulfield Guineas. So will it be competitive in the Guineas? I don't know, but be interesting to see, especially by the high-profiled owners in Australian bloodstock. Number 1, Thrombone here. There are too many ifs and negatives for me to recommend this as a bet. Up in weight, wide barrier, deep in the prep now. Probably will be last at the 600-metre mark trying to make a run. I just wonder what is left in the horse. Might have had enough by now, but I can't recommend. Number 5, Choppin. Was nice win and beating a horse coming off some hot jump outs. Up 100 metres will suit, but the worry is it was on a synthetic track last start, but has had a jump out since. Looked okay. Gets Ollie. It's a tick. If you like it, I won't talk you out of it. If you want to have a saver, I wouldn't talk you out of it around the $10. The interesting one here is number 4, Hafey. Won well first up, then went straight to the diamond and just looked like it's had enough. I wasn't a fan of its jump out for this one. I expected better and hard to recommend off that jump out. And it's around $6 and it's not for me. But keen here, number 6, River Ribble. Matty.
Okay, don't mind it. Quite confident in the first, which is how we do like them. Get us off to a good start like you did last week. Any thoughts on Greg Ural's horse that you could? Doesn't usually bring them to the city unless he believes that they've got some talent. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, SP $12 against Thrombone. 3 wide, no cover. Loomed up to really present in the race on the corner and just gave way. I think the 3 wide, I know it's only a quarter of a bend or half a bend at Caulfield in those sprint races, but I just maybe think condition gave out. There's absolutely no knock on the run. Gets a better barrier, gets the inform Willow. You know he's going to put it on speed. And at $6, which I thought the price was a touch under, but considering all that, I wouldn't talk you out of it.
I thought it was a little bit under. I was expecting it to be closer to the $10, but I think from barrier number 3, as you said, Willow on board, it's probably going to push forward and it'll be around the mark. But I'm very, very happy with your confidence. So we'll be sticking with River Ribble.
Yeah, they can run second because River Ribble were winning by 3 to 4.
Very nice.
Race 2, the 2-year-olds over 1,400, Matty.
Yeah, interesting race, and I know you were surprised that I picked this one, but I do look at this time of year as horses that we are going to be following, and I like looking at these second and third up horses. Sometimes you need to be a little bit careful within these races, but interesting race. Mate, have you got the odds there? And we'll run through them.
Yeah, we've got the favourite here. Number 8, Boogie Dancer, $2.10. Number 1, Manhattan Thunder, $3. Number 2, Black Max, $8.50. Number 3, Berkeley Square, $8. And number 5, Bel Air, $15. $20 the rest. Plus.
Thank you, mate. So only the 8 starters. So interesting seeing all these horses across their first, second, and third runs were applicable. The pace in this race, I can't see too much pace. Either Sword Tyrabel is going to cross them and potentially come across, or Black Max could be really quite positive and push forward. So they're probably the two. The only other one in the race that I see having speed is potentially Boogie Dancer, and maybe even Berkeley Square if it did want to push up from barrier number 1. But look, there's not going to be a whole lot of pace in this 1,400-metre race. The 4 that I wanted to discuss today, and when I look at these races and horses to follow. They're the ones that have a couple of gears, and there's a few in here that I found that does have that type of profile in their first few races. Manhattan Thunder is the first one. Now, wide barrier, went back last start, good win, and really, really good ride by Jamie Mott. He didn't leave it too late, and by going back and going wide, sometimes you can leave it a little late. In this race, you're going to find it a lot closer from barrier number 2. So out to 1,400 metres and a soft track, that'll be a little bit of a concern, but I do believe that it does have some class. So wouldn't be surprised if Manhattan Thunder is around the mark. Black Max, as I mentioned, I can see it going forward and being quite positive. A drop back in its first start and almost got to last on the bend after making up some good ground. It was a really average ride by Harry Coffey, unfortunately. But if you put that to the side, second start, Jared Fry didn't leave anything to chance in its second start and owned the race. It was really positive, and I can see it playing out somewhat similar here. So Black Max, I expect it to go forward. I expect it to be positive and does have some class. But Worm, the two that I landed on and the two that I wanted to really spend a little bit more time on was Bel Air. So number 5, Bel Air, a Freedman horse, Billy Egan on board. Look, if you have a look at its last start, or its only start, it looked really fresh and it looked hard to handle. Jake Duffy was on board. You'll notice when it actually straightened up towards the back of the field, he struggled to hold on to this. So you know it's got it's going to be quite an infant horse, and with that infancy, you do need an element of luck. But I think the appointment of Billy Egan on this will definitely be a positive. What I liked about it, and I don't tend to like to get excited about horses that just flash home, but this horse, once it did straighten up, once it did actually get into gear, it's got some pace. It really had some closing pace across the last 200. And I think here from barrier number 4, it'll just hit midfield. It'll probably get some cover behind a horse like Boogie Dancer or Black Max, and hopefully it leads it into the race. At $15, I think it's a really good chance, not necessarily to win, but I'm expecting it to be in the top 3. So it's one that I'll probably be playing that old 3 or 4 units for a place and 1 unit for a win. But look, it's definitely going to be winning some races, Worm. But I couldn't go past the favourite Boogie Dancer. Forget its first start. It was not one that it got in really well. And then in its third start, Jamie Carr on board in its third start, you could see how patient she was, got off heels and really accelerated. And that's what you like to see out of these younger horses. So Jamie Carr on board again here. I see Boogie Dancer again, probably being around the pace. Will definitely be sitting top 4. And from there, I think Jamie will have her opportunity to be winning this. Now, I did this form without looking at the odds, and I like doing that with these younger horses. So when I did see 210, I was probably a little bit surprised. I thought it might have been sitting around that 350 mark. So I do see 210 being unders, but I also believe it's going to be the horse to be winning the race. So Worm, the 2-bet strategy, I'll be back in Boogie Dancer, but I'll definitely be having something on Bel Air for a place.
Bel Air, you can definitely put a line through it because it's on the synthetic, and synthetic to turf, we all know it. But I reckon they had no choice but to go to the synthetic looking for a 1,200 meter race. Because the 2 weeks ago on that Saturday, it wasn't a 1,200 meter race for the 2-year-olds, I don't reckon. And then they had the stablemate River Ribble 2 days before at Cranbourne, so they weren't going to go up against that. So I think they were just forced to be there packing them on the Saturday. So definitely a big tick, and I think you're getting good odds because of that.
No, definitely. And we know the Freemans, they can train those 2-year-olds. So it's it definitely took my eye.
Yep, and it wouldn't have been anywhere near fit either. So to do that on start one is enormous. And it was open maiden as well, that one. 2-year-old against the older horses. So tick. One I fancy, but I'm worried about the barrier is number 3, Berkeley Square. I think it's a serious horse. Looking at the sire and dam, their sire won over 1,600 in Ireland, and then Bahamas was a stayer in Australia in the Adelaide Oaks and all them. So genuinely, I think this might be a Vic Derby horse. Berkeley Square horse is huge. It needs room to extend. And as you could see from Geelong that day, he got to the outside and was just, enormous, I reckon. I don't reckon it got out of first gear. Alana Kelly stays on and no jump out is a concern. Barrier 1 is the biggest concern because I reckon they're going to be back near last and bottled up. If it can get room and doesn't get held up by an inch, I think it can win. And at $8, do I want to find out? I don't know. I'm still humming and ahhing if I want to get involved. But you gave Bel Air a fair dinkum push, so I might have to do a swap at the moment, but you can play both.
No, honestly, you can. But Berkeley Square, I would say not for this weekend. Barrier number 1, as you said, unless it jumps exceptionally well and is leading. Even if it is leading, I don't know whether I necessarily want to be on it if it's going to be on the rail. So I see what you mean. Alana Kelly was really, really positive on it when it was down at Geelong. It's going to be winning races. I just don't like it here.
Yeah, and plus 70 days since its last run, I can't see them gassing this to get to the front. I think they just want to use the 1,400 as a stepping stone towards the Vic Derby.
I would imagine so. And if it does drop back, just expect it to wheel out on the corner and be probably having the best 200 metres, last 200 metres of the race.
Yep, definitely. And we'll be putting it in our portfolio guaranteed for next week.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty keen to see what Bel Air can produce. And yeah, Boogie Dancer, sorry, I've got the movie in my head. Boogie Dancer, as you said, the price is poison for me. I'm not saying it can't win. It can win, definitely. Jamie Carr, she'll put it in a good spot. But $2 for a horse that's been on a heavy 9 twice and a soft 7, has it had enough? I'm definitely not going to question Peter Moody, that's for sure.
No, and that's it. Look, I mean, if you don't want to touch a 210, completely understand. There'll be a lot of punters out there who don't, but I think we've given them one at odds and potentially one other to follow. And that's what we should be doing out of these type of races, not just looking at this race, but looking at where these horses can progress to.
And I find it interesting, Damian Lane, first week back from Japan. I reckon that is massive. And I'm a huge D-Lane fan because I reckon since he's been to Japan, he's been putting his horses in races more than ever. I can bet with him with confidence. I don't know what the difference is Japan racing to ours, but yeah, just watching punters, he'll put some horses in some really, really good spots, and he could put on an absolute clinic in the upcoming spring. So stay tuned. What's that? Surprise, surprise. I'm going to have to go through it again, guys, because no one's listening to me. If you want my tips and thoughts on daily Victorian meetings, then DM me to join. Like this podcast, we are all free. No podcast hidden behind paywalls. If you have any questions, if you ask any questions of the podcast, we will answer them on the show. We won't hide behind the questions like some do. My WhatsApp and thoughts, like this podcast is all free, no hidden costs. We have a nice result on the British Open from one of our lads tipping Cam Smith. We had a huge Saturday. Unlucky not to get a result Sunday. Positive day on Wednesday. So punters, if you want to start winning, come and get involved. Plus, the best thing is you can share your thoughts and bets with the community, lads, if you rate yourself, because there's a few blokes that do, and it's bloody good to watch.
Just looking at the last message, last two messages. Pissed in, bang. People are finding winners.
Yeah, someone found a dog at $1.40 and said, put it in all your multis because it'll be a big tick. So all you can do is tip winners. Don't worry about the prices. You just do whatever you want with that price. Race 8, punters. I'm going to preview this. The Bletchingly Stakes. I'm going to bring up the odds. Yeah, the favourite here, $4.80, Maliva. Number 7, King of Sparta, $6. Number 1, Streets of Avalon, finishing second last year, is $6.50. Number 6, Oxley Road, $6. Number 10, Mara Mia, $7. Number 2, Scalapini, $8, $8.50. Sartoria Splendor, number 4, is around $11, and then $16 plus the rest. Yeah. When doing the speed map, I mapped 6 horses as possible leaders. Now, I'll go through them so you can get the drift of my speed map. I had 1, Streets of Avalon leading. I had number 3, Azar possibly leading. Number 4, Sartorial Splendor. Number 6, Oxley Road. Number 9, Felicia. And number 10, Mara Mia. But I've mapped number 3, Asa. Number 4, Sartorial Splendor is leading. Number 10, Mara Mia. Might be 3 wide, no cover, but wouldn't surprise me if they push forward as well. With 1, Streets of Avalon, number 6, Oxley Road, and number 9, Felicia, camp behind them. So in saying that, you would think they might light up the pace and set a fast speed. But most of these horses like to go very slow or slow speed up front. Weird map and very weird speed. When first assessing the race, I was keen to take on anything from the St. John Monash race 2 weeks ago. Bunch finish. And number 5, William Thomas, getting within 1 length of the winner is a huge concern. Before that, he wasn't getting within 5 lengths of the winner. Reads horrible for me, but I'm happy to forgive number 6, Oxley Road. From last start, the conditions not suiting, being a soft 7 to heavy track. Now gets soft 5 at worst. SP $3 last start. Now you're getting $6. So I've got to have something on just in case, because his best is way too good for these. If Oxley Road flops again, and this is his absolute last chance, I want to have something on number 2, Scalapini, because his form from Brisbane reads well, finishing under 3 lengths to these: Isotope, Count the Rupee, and Apache Chase. It's good enough to win this. Should camp behind the leaders or the pace. And with Ollie on board, I feel he can win this. Yes, first time at the track. Yes, first time going around Melbourne is the only negative. But early support 13s into 9s is good enough for me to get involved. So 2-bet play, Oxley Road and Scalapini. Matty.
Does barrier number 1 just kill King of Sparta?
Yes. Yeah, because it's going to be backmarker.
Tell you what, if that drew wide, it would have been exceptionally hard to beat.
Yeah.
Especially with the pace on.
Yeah. I can see why. 1 length behind Paulini, and yeah, excuses offered against Lost and Running, and then last start against your Juan Diva. Yeah, definitely can. Yeah, barrier 1, I don't think they roll forward because of what I mentioned with the pace. I think looking at the maps, it's going to be a bit scratchy, so I think they just go back with that one.
I think so, and from there it's going to need a lot of luck. If it drew out wide, I think it could have taken a sit behind someone and got a nice Tywin wheel out on the corner, but might need to do a little bit too much work from barrier number 1. So, look, there's a few in here that you could definitely be steering people towards. I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's look, Maliva favourite. I cannot have it with its stats of 4 starts at the distance for a third. I think it got an absolute peach of a ride from Daniel Moore. From 10, I reckon they're going to be near last. And if the track is playing normal Caulfield, then I don't know how it can win. Streets of Avalon. Yeah, 12 months ago he ran second. Pretty good form last prep, but I didn't like his jump out. I just thought he might be heading towards I've had enough. But yeah, nothing else to add.
Okay. No, nothing else to add. With the pace on in this race, I think there's a few that are definitely going to be in the finish. Whether, as you mentioned, there might be something that can run over the top, or the ones out in front are just going to set or going to be just that little bit too quick. So, look, really intriguing race.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Oxley brings his best. He wins by an absolute mile. But
yep.
Yeah, if he doesn't, geez, it's going to be a blanket go again, I reckon.
No, good shout.
Around the grounds, I've got one, and I'll kick things off because mine is tomorrow. So if you're a tonight listener or an early Friday, Mildura Cup, race 6, number 7, Zoist. Has a 4-kilo swing on Edison, who won 2 weeks ago at Caulfield, coming off a freshen up we have. Blinkers stay on. Baron Vorster comes down the ride from Adelaide. From barrier 3, should lead with Edison, sitting outside us, but I feel the 4-kilo swing will be enough. And $9, I feel, is a good each-way bet. Take note, guys, Mildura is a good track up there, and it favours the leaders. So that's why we're going with Zoist on Friday. Matty?
I just want to mention, it's not actually going to be in my around the grounds, but in, what are we, race number 7 at Caulfield. One we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Mrs. Chrissy. Now, I was in the adjacent race, finished 4th, and at the odds, definitely one to include in the multiples. Not going to be one of the around the grounds, but one that I'm really interested to see how it does go. I'm expecting to see improvement, so just keep that in mind for the quarties on the weekend. But when we are heading up to Sydney, race 4, easy single. Now, I know in the WhatsApp group this was hot. Was it last week or the week before? It might have been 2 weeks ago. Now, definitely didn't run up to expectations. Got beat by Conscript. Conscript was one that we put into the portfolio and one that we're going to be following, and one that's running this weekend. Might hear it a little bit later, but expect it to bounce back and get to its best at $3. We'll be back in easy single in race 4. Race 9 up in Sydney, Conscript. So at $3, again, it's moving through the grades exceptionally well. I don't see this as being too challenging for it. It's definitely going to be a step up. However, I'm expecting it to be exceptionally hard to beat. So Conscript at $3 in race 9. Worm.
Yes, I was just looking at the form of Conscript. Just having a look. Looks like it's going to be a heavy track up there, and 2 starts for 2 wins. Hello.
Yes. I do like it.
Yeah, no, it's $3 at the moment, so I reckon get on now before everyone else does. And even better, a Mitsubishi on board. Beautiful. Our combo. Multi-time, I'm going to chuck in Zoist on Friday, the place, $2.80, and then Sandy Prince, which I mentioned as the trial tracker, race 6, number 8, the place, and around the $1.70. Matty, what are you chucking in?
We'll throw in some value, Worm. We'll be throwing in Belair the place, race number 2 at Caulfield. And just remind me, we did go Conscript the win, didn't we?
Yeah, or easy single.
Easy single. They're both paying $3. So I'll let you pick. Which one do you want? Easy single or Conscript?
I've written easy single on my notes, so we're going to stay with it because we know what happens if I take it out.
All right, I'm going to be putting both of those on just in case.
Well, I'm going to have a 5-leg multi now. Yep, that comes to $38 punters. So that's Zoyce the place, Sandy Prince the place, Easy Single the win, Belair the place, and Matty's going to go rogue and chucking Conscript the win instead of Easy Single.
Should pay about 115. Enjoy.
Knowing our luck, we'll get all 5 legs here.
Mate, it's going on.
Oh, we're due. We're absolutely Stewie due. So if he can get a 2-year contract, surely we can get a 4-leg multi. Pot of the week. It's with me. I don't think there's any surprise here. River Ribble, race 1, Caulfield. Kick off the day with my best bet, Pineapple of the week. I think he's a good horse, probably set for the Caulfield Guineas. Joe McNeil rides him like he did at Cranbourne. And I think he just absolutely pisses in at around the $3 mark.
I like it.
Matty, anything else to add?
Oh, mate, just we're kicking the weekend off at Caulfield with a running double, which will be nice. Everyone will be filling their pockets up early.
Yeah, definitely. No, mate, good segue here. Thank you all for listening. Hope you fill your pockets up on the weekend. More importantly, I hope Matty and I fill your pockets up. Have a great weekend. We will touch base for the first time at the Valley next Saturday, I believe. So we'll be looking for leaders, and it'll be absolutely monstrous for our accounts, I reckon. So have a good weekend, Matty.
The up room.
Yeah, and we'll just let our mate finish off our show like he always does each week.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.